there are more than 200 people here in this room with more than 200 personal stories. When I think about the personal stories of each one of us, the personal stories of millions and billions of people outside in this world, I always think about the childhood periods, especially for the ones who've been through extreme hardship in their lifetimes, the ones who suffered from being with disabilities, or the one who've been born in conflict areas, or the ones who were born as refugees, or the ones who suffered from the low-income upbringing, which is my case, and how those hardship times and how those challenges were main influence in creating our authentic stories that we are telling day by day. I am Mohammad Sammour. I'm a young Jordanian social entrepreneur and a cultural activist, and the co-founder of the multi-awarded venture MedeArts. And I'm here with you today to tell you my story. Let me take you back 25 years ago. Steve Jobs once said that we can only connect the dots by looking forward, by looking backward. And if I want to look backward to the town that I was born in, I was born and raised in a small town in the north of Jordan. It's an underprivileged town, which is with very low resources. And the only mindset that you will have by living in this area, that you need to catch up with all opportunities. You need to knock all the doors in order to be able to live a different future and to ensure for your children a different life. And that's why I started to focus on myself, personal growth, and how can I be different? How can I be someone who can create change for himself only without caring about anything else? 12 years in public schools, I was always on top of my class. I was leading actively all the clubs in my school, and I was always focusing how can I be a better person, but with zero interest in community. And that all got changed in 2012. It's the first turning point in my life. I attended TEDx for the first time. I've never heard about TEDx before. And it was my first time to connect and listen to stories and personal stories of young leaders from my community who were creating impact and creating change with very limited resources. And that was the first time to spark that thing in my mind, the joy of giving. And what am I missing in order to be one of them? To be able to create this change and to start focusing on something else outside of my circle, of my comfort zone, especially that I came from a poor community, and there is so many injustice happening there, and no one is taking off. And that's why I started exploring the power of V, or the power of volunteering, which is my first time to know exactly that volunteering can do magic. So after I enrolled in the School of Architecture in 2012, I started to volunteer with so many organizations that can come to your mind. I worked on a sport project, I worked on youth capacity buildings, community development, I worked with people from different cultures in my city to get them involved in social interaction, I worked in filmmaking, and I worked in art. And this project, Inside Out, it was my first time to work in the art field. And I noticed that there is a huge influence and a huge impact that you can have by using art. Because I'm an architect, I started to know how can I be involved in more in that. So here comes the second turning point in my life. I got the chance to be part of the UNOCEF Summer School for Young Global Leaders in New York. And during the summer school, I got the chance to know more about social entrepreneurship and what we can do by focusing on different and innovative approaches to change the community. During the summer school, I got challenged to create a project that can tackle one of the injustices in my community by using any approach I want. And I've seen myself sticking to the idea of using art. I have no idea why, but art was always there in my mind, on top of everything that I need to focus on art. That's why when I came back, I had that thing that I need to focus. I've been doing so many things in my life. I've worked with so many organizations, but never focused on one thing. That's why I started to focus on art, and I wanted to work in art. And by that time, I met my old friend, Safi, who's now the co-founder and the guy who brought this idea to reality, and the one that we shared together, that we all, like both of us have a passion for art. Both of us have that mindset that we need to focus on art and culture as an approach to create change. And we can do magic if we manage to create that online and offline platform that give a safe environment for cultural activists and youth artists from my community to create change by using the mean of art and culture. And that where MedeArts came to reality in 2015. MedeArts it's an arts development network that works on improving the role of art and culture inside communities by focusing on in supporting local artists and cultural activists to start their own project. And how we do that? We do that by empowering them to start their own projects by equipping them with the right skills, connecting them with the right professionals and people who can support them, and by being a main part of motivation for those projects. In MedeArts, and in order to achieve our mission, we start focusing on different methodologies. And one of the main and biggest methodology, which is theater. We gave a platform for the youth to start working and giving themselves the chance to express social injustice, social cases, and personal stories by using the theater. And we managed to do two big projects with youth from Jordan and Syria in the last 3 years. We focus on music. And we thought for music, it could be a very accessible and approach for people in Jordan, especially that they love music a lot. And it could be a way to spark conversation around hot topics in the community and how we can use music to preserve the cultural identity and the cultural heritage. We used Hiwar, which was one of the first projects that we started in MedeArts, which is Hiwar is the Arabic word for dialogue, by focusing on art as an approach to spark conversation about different topics, different injustices that face women, children, young people, and refugees in my community. Then we launched Daraj Festival, which is the first open festival for locals that operates in the intersection between youth, talents, and identity, and how we can evolve them together to give the chance to many people in my community to be part of that. And we had more than 3,000 people attending this festival in the first time. That's led us to have a huge impact in MedeArts. We have more than 15,000 people impacted, either by being part of the projects, training, sessions, or the programs that we do in MedeArts. And that's why we are now one of the leading initiatives that work in the art and culture field in Jordan. When I applied to AMENDS a few months ago, there was that question in the application, what do you see yourself doing with MedeArts in the next few months and years? And I answered with the same question that I answered most of the times when I apply to donors or funding, that I still have a dream to create our own space where people can come, meet, work, a safe environment where you can learn and experiment. And I'm glad that I'm here today after we launched Garage, our 5th program, which is the first open space and cultural hub and the co-working space that open for everyone to come, to work, and create projects that can solve injustice, can develop communities by using the art and culture. And if you ask me, what do you see yourself doing next? I don't know actually, but I know that I'll be doing something great. I am Mohammad Sammour, and this is my story. Thank you so much.